How do you know if your neighborhood is going to appreciate or depreciate in value this next year?
Thanks for joining us. We are the Hatch Homes Group, and it's our weekly Monday market update. Before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe if you are enjoying what you're seeing. So this topic was kind of brought up by this graph from Keeping Current Matters, and they compiled a list of top experts predicting what are we going to see in 2023. And, it looks like mostly we're going to see a little bit of appreciation, much, much less than what we're used to, right, guys?
Yeah.
Now, there are about I think they're predicting about 30 metropolitan cities, let's call them, that could see more than 3% depreciation. Now, this is really interesting. We're definitely seeing this in Portland. We're feeling this, but it so depends on neighborhood to neighborhood and price point to price point. Like all these things really play a factor in where we're going to see depreciation versus appreciation in Portland, particularly. We want to dive into that. What we're seeing is that homes that were priced around closer to 2020 values are still selling really fast. So the sellers are basically choosing to already, not push the value, but, be aggressive on price. Or we're still seeing really hot neighborhoods in Portland that still have very, very low inventory. And those are still selling pretty fast. So how do you know if a neighborhood you want to buy in or a neighborhood you want to sell in is going to appreciate or depreciate? Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but we have numbers, and that's what we look at. We look at numbers to figure this out. So let's look at a few examples of how we would break down if your area is going to appreciate or depreciate through numbers.
Yeah. So looking at North Portland is a very interesting one because it's kind of all over the place. Starting at the $400,000 to $425,000 range, there's actually 4.7 months worth of inventory. So there's a lot of opportunity there for a first-time home buyer or just that price point to get seller paid concessions, buy downs, whatever it is. Good opportunity there for a first-time home buyer. But when you get to the 550 to 650 range, there's very, very little inventory, meaning it's still pretty competitive. And 625 through 775, it alternates in increments of about $50,000 of where it goes from having very little inventory to a little over 6 months worth of inventory. So each of those price points you can see kind of is kissing that mark around 7 months where it could potentially depreciate. So it's kind of area to watch. The biggest factor is $850,000 to $900,000 range has 15 months worth of inventory. So that's a screaming buyer's market, and are definitely going to want to watch what's going to happen there.
Looking at the total market overview again, I looked at the completely different side of town and what a juxtaposition it was. Just over in Milwaukee, the opposite end of North Portland, we're seeing a really good seller's market still. Inventory is still low. I mean, I think we're going to see that for the foreseeable future because people are holding on to their homes. However, when you're looking at Milwaukee, this kind of a different story is when the most popular price point over here is about 400 to 450,000. And you have about a month of inventory when it comes to that price point. And it stays pretty consistent, 1, 2, and 3 months, which is still a pretty good seller's market. And it stays that way up until you get to the price point of about 700 and 800,000. And then again, when you go up to $1 million or more, actually probably 950 or more, then you have 16 months of inventory. So I definitely see the difference, and also the similarity across the board, that the luxury being over 900 in Portland, that's kind of where we're seeing the biggest hit probably.
So I want to talk about Beaverton and then a little bit about Rock Creek, my favorite area. But Beaverton, 97007 zip code. We've got a hot spot if you're selling in the range 675 to 700,000, you've got 1.8 months of inventory. And if you go 775 to 800, 1.8 months of inventory. But if you look for the past week at the numbers, 750 to 775, you got 6.4 months of inventory. So swinging from a buyer's market to a seller's market, or a seller's market to a buyer's market.
Yeah.
6.4 months is a fair amount of inventory indicating a seller's market. So that's Beaverton, where the market has been pretty hot for the past year. Now, Rock Creek, that's where I live. That's our northwest 185th neighborhood around a golf course, close to Intel, very well-liked neighborhood. The average price is around 616,000. There's only one property sold for over $1 million, about 1,900 homes. Guess what the inventory was last week?
What?
What?
A month, half a month.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
3 homes sold on my street within a week for over 800,000. Yeah, it's
Wow.
incredible.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so they're difference.
So as you can see, we can't make a huge blanket statement on will Portland appreciate or depreciate. It totally depends. And you can see it from the numbers. So if you want us to look at your neighborhood, particularly the neighborhood you're interested in selling or the neighborhood you want to buy in, please reach out to us and we'll look at your numbers and we'll let you know.
right. And like and subscribe and share.
Yes. Thank you, Johnny. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for joining us and we'll see you next week.